Judicial Watch President, meantime, Tom Fitton is saying illegals and non-citizens should not be able to vote in any U.S. elections. Fitton made that statement today after releasing documents that show non-citizens are being trained to vote in Washington, D.C. The documents show D.C. held an event in April called the Non-Citizen Voting Education Training. The Voting Rights Amendment Act of 2022 allows non-citizens to vote in local elections in the nation's capital if they meet certain requirements. But Wisconsin Representative Brian Stile is working to reverse that law and is holding a hearing on the issue this week.
This should be banned outright. We should pass my legislation overturning Washington, D.C.'s laws. In the meantime, until we get that bill on the floor and passed in the Senate, I'm going to continue to make sure that we're getting answers from the D.C. elections officials as to what they're doing to prevent non-citizens from voting in the federal election this fall.
Fitton then went on to say allowing the votes of U.S. citizens to be legally stolen by illegal aliens is inexcusable. Here's One America's John Hines with more.
The government of the District of Columbia is reaching out to educate illegal aliens and other non-citizens about how to vote in the upcoming local city council elections in the nation's capital, according to documents obtained by the government watchdog Judicial Watch. And with us now is Michael Bekesha, an attorney at Judicial Watch. So, Michael, the D.C. Council changed its law last year to permit non-citizens to vote in local elections in the national capital. Should American taxpayers be concerned?
Absolutely. Not only is it just non-citizens, but illegal aliens. And it's not just any illegal alien. You just have to be living in D.C. or say you've been a resident of D.C. for 30 days. So, individuals crossing the border, maybe they're being bussed up here from another urban city, south of us. They show up, they're here for 30 days, and then they get to decide in our elections, vote for our city council, for our mayor, our attorney general, and we already have a crime problem. And I imagine these folks probably are going to be soft on crime even more.
And of course, the Republicans in Congress, I think they tried to do something about that. I think they passed a law in the House. Of course, I don't think that made it through the Senate. So essentially, it seems like they're not really being able to effectively remand this decision by the D.C. City Council. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think Congress could have taken some actions, but it doesn't look like they have. They could have prevented D.C. Board of Elections from spend money on training to allow illegal aliens to vote, but they didn't do so. Congress is known to put riders in, preventing the government from taking certain actions, but they didn't do so here. So, Congress and the Republicans have let us down.
So talk a little bit about then, you said that actually there's the proof that someone lives in Washington, D.C. It's a little bit, I guess, sketchy as to how you prove you live in Washington, D.C. And even if you do prove you live in Washington, D.C., you only have to have been living here for 30 days. Is that right?
That's right. So the documents we received was a PowerPoint presentation that the Board of Elections was providing, and one of the slides shows the form that illegal aliens have to fill out. And, one of the boxes is, do you have a social security number or driver's license? And if the answer is no, then you simply need to certify that you're at least 16 years of age, that a court hasn't found you incompetent to vote, and that you're not voting anywhere else.
How do you certify that?
You just sign your name, and, I guess if you lie under oath, it's maybe a $100 penalty or whatnot. But besides that, it's a utility bill or, something else to show that you're somewhere, living in the district and have your name attached to it.
Now, this is just for local elections. This is not for federal elections. So this wouldn't be for instance, in the presidential election or, say, the election for the D.C. delegate, which is a federal office. But do we know if this is happening in other, perhaps, urban centers across the country, do you suppose?
I believe a couple cities allow such individuals to vote. I think potentially Montgomery County, Maryland is one And I think there are a couple other places, but this is really rare. The other rarity that you have in D.C. is that these individuals, say an illegal alien, can also run for office. So you could have an illegal alien mayor of the District of Columbia or a council member. The law, when the change took place, this was one of the consequences that I'm not sure the city council realized, but is a consequence of the law.
Michael Bekesha, an attorney at Judicial Watch, thank you for joining us on One America News. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.